We have an update on I just wanted to bring everybody up to date on the tree story. Because we told the tree story last week on the program that Corky, my tree guy, and his ace assistant, Lumberjack Scott, were out here and they surveyed a dead tree and determined how because it was in between two good trees we didn't want to break. It was very near power lines if it fell the way that gravity looked like it would take it. They were going to figure out how to get it out of here. And 8 hours after they were out here and figured out this elaborate plan, in the middle of no bad weather, no high wind, no rainstorm, whatever, just the dead of night, the problem part of this 80 or 90-foot maple tree just broke right out and just dropped straight and more or less stacked itself up and basically touched nothing of any consequence, against all logic. Corky comes out this past week and looks at it and says, well, looks like the sun will shine even on a sleeping dog's ass once in a while. They say that up in New Jersey, don't they? O'Brien.
I haven't heard that expression before.
You're speechless, but you have not heard that expression. That means anybody gets lucky every once in a while. Because a sleeping dog, he's just laying there. He don't have to move. The sun will move and shine on his ass every once in a while. He don't have to do anything. He's lucky. Nevertheless, so they're going to come out and take care of they're going to chop all that up. They're going to cut the rest of it down. So they do this the other day, and Stacy and I were looking out the window watching them. And first, he actually, instead of climbing the thing and cutting off the other big branch of it, because this tree at the base of a large adult man can't reach around it. The base of it was about 4.5 feet across, not around, but across when they cut it all down. So it's a big tree. And in that the branch was about 20 feet up and the big part still remaining, but not the part that's going to fall on the fence or on the wires. So, but he was going to cut that off before, but he says, hold on. And he threw a rope up there and tied it around the bumper of his pickup truck and just pulled it right off. Just crack, and it just dropped. Boom. And they had the wood chipper, and they had the chainsaws, and they were going to town on this thing. So Stacy said, we ought to get some Zegs and watch this. I said, okay, because Zegs is a fine breakfast place here near me in town. Well, they got a couple of locations. At least they used to. I don't know about now. Wonderful breakfast place, Zegs, Zeggz. I'm not even getting paid for that. But we order the Grubhub type of thing and get the breakfast brought to us. It was noontime, so it was like brunch with Corky while we're watching them cut this big old tree up. And they have, Brian, my favorite breakfast item, dish, whatever, of all time. You're the big breakfast guy, so I'm going to give you this onslaught of breakfast goodness. They have. It's a fried chicken biscuit, but it's so much more than that. They take a homemade biscuit and they crack it in half. And they lay a big old fried chicken bread, boneless, skinless chicken breast on top of that. And then they pour the sausage gravy, the old country cream sausage gravy over the top of that. Then they fry you 2 eggs over easy. And they put the eggs on top of that. And then you get a side of bacon and a side of the hash brown casserole they've got that's so good. And that'll be the best breakfast you've ever put in your mouth. That's what I had while I watched Corky and Lumberjack Scott, his sidekick, finish my tree the other day.
I've never had a biscuit with breakfast.
What? Wait, in your entire life?
In my entire life. Biscuits seem like a dinner kind of thing for if you're having Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know Chick-fil-A has some kind of chicken biscuit on the menu for breakfast, but I've never gotten there that early to get it and try it. I want to, though.
Haven't you ever had the biscuits and gravy from Dairy Queen?
I would never have gravy for breakfast. How could you have gravy for breakfast?
Gravy for breakfast? That's what breakfast is.
No!
My Aunt Lola used to get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning because my Uncle Tommy worked at a factory over in Cincinnati, and he had to leave by 6 to be there and check in at 7 and everything. And every morning for the 30-something years, whatever they were married until she died, she got up and made biscuits from scratch and made sausage and made eggs and made gravy, because you had to have the gravy to go with the biscuits. And so after she made the sausage, she'd take all the grease and everything and she'd make she made the best sausage gravy in the whole world. And some bacon thrown in there, and every once in a while, some potato cakes. Have you ever had a potato cake?
I don't know what a potato cake is. I've had potato pancakes, latkes. I've had plenty of those.
Well, no, it's when you the leftover mashed potatoes from dinner last night. You take the leftover mashed potatoes, take a spoon and glob them out on the daggum frying pan and mash it down and make you a potato cake.
No, I've never had that.
Well, that way you're repurposing your potatoes.
Have you ever had a potato pancake, a latke?
I don't.
You dip it in applesauce?
Oh, for heaven's sake. Well, now you're just making things up.
I'm not making things up. That's a Jewish food. I don't even know if it's a Jewish food, but we've adopted it, and we love it.
Well, regardless, the point is, great. For one thing, you've said so many things wrong here. I'm trying to go back so we don't drop anything. No gravy for breakfast. Of course, gravy is a breakfast staple in the South to go on the biscuits. And actually, here's the thing. You get the best of all worlds when you break your biscuit open, except for this chicken biscuit we're going to get back to in a minute. You break your biscuit open. You put your sausage patty on the biscuit. Then you take and you put the top back on with some butter also. Boom. And you take that biscuit and you pour the gravy next to your eggs, which are yellow runny. So you take and you sop your sausage biscuit into your eggs and get all the yellow runny. That's how my mom she used to over easy as yellow runny. But until I was 11, maybe 12 years old, I didn't know what that meant, because I didn't know what over easy meant, because my mom called them yellow runny. You want your eggs yellow runny, Jimmy? Yes, I do. Anyway, you take the sausage biscuit, you dip it around in the yellow runny egg, and you take a big bite, and then you dip it in the dadgum gravy, and you take another big bite. Then you've got all your goodness in there. You have been so deprived. But anyway, back to my chicken biscuit.
I'm not a big fan of eggs either. Other than when they're in the French toast.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
But I don't need just plain eggs. I don't need eggs.
Stacy had the French toast.
Oh, she's smart. Someone in that house is smart. This is so wonderful to hear that someone in that house knows proper breakfast.
It's bread. It's just bread with syrup.
No, it's not just bread with syrup. It's bread soaked in egg and then cooked or baked or whatever the fuck it is on the stovetop. And then you can have syrup, you can have powdered sugar, you can have all sorts of things you want with it.
There's no meat.
No. You don't need meat with every meal.
God damn.
Or you can have a side order of sausage or bacon.
Well, then you'd need you'd need your gravy, and you'd need your yellow runny eggs. Because your sausage and bacon has to have some juice to it.
So disgusting.
And biscuits.
Awful. No.
Biscuit. When you go down to visit Stephen P. New and you go to West Virginia, stop into any location of Tudor's Biscuit World. And you will have biscuits for every occasion, and they're all named for somebody. So you can have Tom's Biscuit or Joe's Biscuit or Bill's Biscuit or whatever. They've got breakfast biscuits, lunch biscuits, dinner biscuits. Biscuits with ham, biscuits with turkey, biscuits with gravy, biscuits with sausage, biscuits with bacon, biscuits with eggs, biscuits with a variety, chicken, biscuits with a variety of everything. Because a biscuit is a year-round food. Anyway.
For lunch or dinner. I don't know. I mean, again, I've never had it for breakfast. I can't even imagine incorporating it in my breakfast. Breakfast scheme.
Breakfast scheme.
But hopefully one day I'll be by Chick-fil-A early enough and the line won't be through the roof.
Everybody, they have biscuits everywhere. Biscuits at fucking McDonald's, for Christ. I don't recommend the McDonald's breakfast. It'll give anybody gas. But still, it's not like a biscuit is a hard thing to obtain at breakfast time. Normal people eat biscuits for breakfast.
Is that a Southern thing?
I thought it was a human thing. I can understand maybe not having grits. I can understand maybe not having the gravy, but the biscuits? No wonder you people are always so cranky up there. So you'd wake up happy like me. I do every morning if you had your biscuits to look forward to.
I'm pretty happy in the morning. I would venture to guess I'm happier than you most mornings. Yeah. And I think it's the lack of gravy that makes me so happy in the morning. Gravy?
And with big old chunk, go to Bojangles and get you some good sausage gravy. They've got great gravy.
I've never even seen a Bojangles.
Oh, for God's... Oh, boy. Here we go now.
It's a chain?
Yes, it's a chain. Bojangles. Bojangles is pretty much the best chicken place in the country since Colonel Sanders has just rolled over and played dead on this thing. And Popeyes is they need to vary up their items a bit, but nothing can match the Bojangles chicken experience. Not as far as widespread chains go. You've got your local chicken places. Sometimes that Hattie B's in Nashville, for instance, that are just the greatest chicken in the world. But on a chain basis, Bojangles. I used to go by Bojangles on South Boulevard in Charlotte on the way to the airport, and I'd have a big box of biscuits and a big tub of gravy that I could take on Crockett's plane and dip them and eat them. And then also,
did anyone react to that? Anyone on Crockett's plane? These wrestlers in great shape, training, going to the gym, Ric Flair on a Stairmaster all day and all night. Did anyone say, "What are you eating? How could you eat that?"
Back then, half the guys, honestly, were whatever food is cheapest, this is what we're going to eat, because they were still in the wrestling business. And half the guys that were successful, like the Flairs and the Road Warriors and all that stuff, would look at me like I was shoveling steaming turds into my mouth. But actually, it paid off, because when they would bring lunch in for us at Crockett's office every Wednesday when we did the promos. That's why I've mentioned the story of the Mid-Atlantic films that I salvaged. They had chicken bones in the boxes because they were sitting on those shelves behind us. And every week for lunch, they'd send Klondike Bill down to Price's Chicken Coop. Price's Chicken, for all Charlotte residents, Price's Chicken Coop was one of the most famous and storied chicken places in all of Charlotte. And he would come in with literally, I'm not chicken boxes like you get at Popeyes or Bojangles or whatever, but giant cardboard storage boxes full of that they just lined with fucking aluminum foil. And they'd bring in 50, 60, 70 giant pieces of chicken from Price's Chicken Coop and set it down. And that's what lunch would be for the boys. Well, a lot of the guys that were trying to, like the Stings and Lugers of the world, would peel the skin off and sit there and eat the actual chicken meat itself on the breast, the white chicken meat, right? So I'd say, hey, you ain't going to eat that skin? Because the skin was the best part of Price's Chicken Coop. And I would sit there and I'd get like not only all the chicken that I wanted to eat, but also all the extra skin from all the bodybuilders that didn't want to eat the fucking fried chicken skin. All Price's right. Chicken Coop. Anyway, where were we going with that? You don't know breakfast.
I certainly do.
That's where we were going with that. No, you do not. You do not.
Do eat bagels? Do eat bagels?
No, bagels are. Why don't I just go buy some stale, chewy bread?
Well, obviously, you don't have good bagels in Louisville. That's what you're saying there. A fresh bagel, warm. You get some whitefish, maybe some lox. Oh,
Stacy does that. Stacy loves bagels and eats bagels all the time. She had the San Francisco thing apparently is a bagel thing too with the lox is salmon, right?
Correct.
Well, there you go. So that's what she's eating. And it's chewy and bleh. Biscuits. Buttery tasting, flaky biscuits. Like mama, like Aunt Lola used to make.
Have you ever eaten egg whites?
Well, of course. How can you eat an egg and avoid eating the white?
I mean, specifically only the whites.
Well, no, that's just wrong. No, the white is like the cake and the yellow is like the icing. The white is there to provide the contrast to the yellow. And no, once again, the most important part of the egg is the yellow. Which, if you're eating a hard-boiled egg, that's the good part. If you're eating a fried egg, that's the good part. If you're eating scrambled eggs, that's the even more important part, because elsewise they just look like oatmeal.
All right.